It's coming down. It's supposed to come down all day. How's the SoCal blood adjusting right now? We got a couple inches on the ground here.
No, it wasn't cool. I spent probably, I don't know, it was probably about a 30, 40-minute cleaning the damn thing. Like I had to walk out of the snow, man, my car off the top of the snow, even though, it's one of those deals, Jay, where I walked out the back door and I looked, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went and the snow was up to my calf. And I'm like stepping, I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. And so I get the little stuff, the de-ice and spray it on there and move it and spray it some more, move it, spray it some more, move it. Then I look, it's still coming down. So now I have to go around the car. I'm doing all this. I'm like, this is just, it's not it. It's not cold. It's just a mess, right? I mean, you have to do all of that all the time. And think about people like you, Jay. You got to clean your driveway. Like I don't have to clean mine because I don't have a driveway to clean.
I am not going to do what I did last time there was a snowstorm. I had icy hot on my back for a week and a half, Key. I was taking Epsom salt baths. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to hire some kids around the neighborhood to shovel my own driveway.
Well, at least it won't be crowded out in the streets, though, right? People won't be driving around. And
yeah, as of 6 a.m., at least here in New York, right now, the mayor said only essential vehicles. So if you're thinking about getting an Uber or anything like that, think of a backup plan. And again, if you have a coronavirus vaccine appointment this morning in New York, shot 1 of 2, you'll have to delay it. That'll be the cure of all.
And Zubin, it only gets better when we go do these interviews with Sal Paontone and all these guys who are down in Tampa. They're in Florida. The wind's blowing in their hair. The palm trees in the back. Those are the things that make you feel great about where you are.
My boy sent me. You said palm trees. My boy sent me some stuff yesterday from L.A. Clear skies, crystal blue. Palm trees in his backyard. He like sit back there chilling at the pool. I'm like, man, this dude.
There will be a day. There will be a day. Who knows when it is? That will be a cure for all ills when most people get that shot, even down in Florida where they don't think they need it. But the cure.
Jeez. So bad.
Sorry, it's true. We could even ask Sal. Do they even pretend it's happening down there? No.
I think they do now. I think they do now. Early on,
Clubs will say different. Key clubs will say different down in Florida right now. It's popping off.
Yeah, well, that's probably true too. But. Weekend was fun, though. Weekend was fun. Everything was good. And the blockbuster trade happened.
Indeed. Speaking of popping off, right? Speaking of popping off, or a cure for all ills. I'm not talking about the vaccine shot. I'm talking about getting Matt Stafford to the Rams and maybe Jared Goff back the other way to Detroit. All right, Key, 2 number 1 picks swap for each other. Adam Schefter said it could be an unprecedented offseason of quarterback movement. Apparently, it has begun.
Oh, I was waiting for sound.
No sound in the first one.
It popped off with Matthew Stafford. He was the first ball to drop, and then all of a sudden you see the Jared Goff move. I didn't anticipate. I mean, it's just hard to see how that happened, but I also could understand how organizations could play with the salary cap and move things around and make it happen. Is Jared Goff a significant is Matthew Stafford a significant upgrade to the point where you're giving up as much as you gave up to acquire him? 2 first-round picks, 3 essentially, if you count Jared Goff, 3 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick as well. That's one of those bets that it better pay off, man. You've got to at least get to the Super Bowl at some point in Stafford's career as a Ram. But just getting there isn't what you paid for because you were there already. You're paying to win the Super Bowl. Now, if Matthew Stafford is the guy that could get them over the hump to win the Super Bowl, Jay, then it's well worth it. But if you wind up in a situation just getting to the Super Bowl or less, then it wasn't worth it.
I'm all about this for Matthew Stafford. I want to see him get out of Detroit. I know he's never had a running game. His O-line has been decimated. There's a reason why he's been injured all the time. Would love to see him in Sean McVay's offense, right? But I'm also thinking about Sean McVay here. Is this setting him up for long-term success? You've mortgaged off your entire future. And they don't have another first-round draft pick until after Joe Biden is done with his presidential term. That's a long time, Keith. And they've also, they haven't had a first-round pick since 2017. They mortgaged off all of them pretty much since 2017 to 2021, where we are now. That's what I meant to say. So it has to pay off yesterday. But also, I mean, their O-line has been decimated. There's other questions that this franchise has that they need to address. Yes, their defense is ready. Now you have a quarterback that you think is going to fit better with Sean McVay, but there's still smaller issues they have to address.
Well, you mentioned Matthew Stafford's problems with the offensive line in Detroit and his lack of big-time winning in Detroit. Well, the Rams' offensive line hasn't been great over the last couple years.
Exactly.
And when you look at the way this offensive line is built, the offensive line was built for play-action pass, bootlegs, things of that nature. Now you're going to ask Matthew Stafford, a guy who has had injuries in the past, to get behind an offensive line with an aging left tackle in Andrew Whitworth. You think about those sort of things, and now you're asking him to get on the perimeter, put himself out in harm's way, where you got defensive ends and linebackers rushing to do harm to you, and now you're on the edge with no protection. So I just, if they like it, I love it. If they think that this is what's going to help them win the Super Bowl in the NFC with teams like New Orleans looking for a quarterback because of Drew Brees retiring, or Green Bay stubbing their toe against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they had home field advantage throughout, or if Tampa Bay and Tom Brady are all of a sudden going to disappear after a Super Bowl, or Seattle's not going to retool, or San Francisco is certainly not going to go out there and try to acquire a quarterback that helps them get back to the Super Bowl. I'm not so much worried about the first-round picks, because first round, this league is not necessarily made up of first-round picks, and you can clearly see that Les Snead feels that way. Les Snead has always gone out and given up the first-round picks for guys that can help him be successful immediately. So I really don't have a major issue, and he's done extremely well in the draft with the rest of his staff of acquiring mid to late round picks, and those guys turning into pretty good players for the Rams. So it'll just be interesting to see how this unfolds. It's a new stadium in L.A., Super Bowl's in L.A. next year, so fans will hopefully be in the stands next year, Zubin. And if they like it, I love it.
I'll say two things here on this deal that I think are interesting that not a lot of people are talking about. It's a couple of redemption stories from Los Angeles moving east. You've got Jared Goff obviously going from the Rams to the Lions, trying to resuscitate his career. Maybe he's only there 2 years. The Lions got a top 10 pick. Maybe they draft somebody. But on the other side, the guy that's going to have to make it work, new Lions offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn, jettisoned from the Chargers. He's in Detroit now under Dan. Campbell. So you got two LA guys moving to Detroit, both looking to resuscitate their careers. Last point, as Key said, Snead loves moving picks. Most NFL teams treat draft picks like gold bars. You can't do anything with them. Snead has dealt, Key, Jay, 21 picks. He has dealt 21 picks,